Hattie's Hierophant, and welcome to your reading for your finances, job, career, and for those of us that aren't working and we're called to do something else like volunteer, or even if we're looking like, what's my next move? Tarot is going to help us out. We're going to have a spiritual conversation. Taurus, if you haven't had a chance to look at your general reading for February 2020, please check that out. Also, I'm thinking like, do we need a financial conversation every month or every quarter? Because I find that sometimes finances don't change that much from month to month. Sometimes we see more of a traction or a stall when it's every quarter. So comment below, let me know how often you would like these readings, if they resonated with you, etc., etc., etc. All right, Taurus. Also, if you haven't had a chance to check out your general reading for February 2020, it is going to be listed below, so you can go ahead and check that out as well, because maybe there's some connection there. Let's start off with the center of your read. This is going to be your overall energy. I am using the vice versa tarot deck, so you're going to have this side and that side, and an inner and outer side for my court cards. So we have the outer side of my King of Cups, and I want you to really see his face. He looks so serious, but it's so interesting because he is one of the most loving of all the kings. He's gentle, he's experienced, he's well loved and well liked, because we know those are two different things. So Taurus, bravo. I can see just looking at your cards that you are very well liked, loved, and respected. So continue on with that, right? In your moon energy, which is where your finances are, because we don't want people knowing how much money we have and how much we don't have. So I find your finances are there. And we have the Emperor along with the Ace of Chalices and the Strength card. Now, with this Emperor card, the Emperor is all about creating a future, a legacy, and he's very future thinking, right? And that's where your finances are. That's where you're trying to figure out, how do I make my money grow? I feel like work is actually pretty good for you. We have this Ace of Chalices, and we have these beautiful lilies in the background and water just flowing from all areas. And then we have that dove of peace that is flying up above that beautiful statue. And then with the Strength card, I feel like you have figured out how to manage what you have when you get it. So I don't feel like there's an enormous amount of stress with you financially, because you've learned how to make it work. If anything, I just want you to fine tune the budgeting for when that money starts to flow in. Okay? Because it looks like you've also figured out how to make it work for you in different ways. So I don't know if we're using some sort of apps to where you put it in this particular account so that it grows, or, you know, they have these financial apps, these trading apps. So I don't know if you're doing some of that, but I do feel like that you're figuring out how to make different streams of income come in. And you've learned to trust yourself. Right? That's that Strength card, because the Strength card is all about trust, and it's all about trusting you, Taurus. So I feel like that you have figured out how to do that. Now let's go to your actual job, your career. This is where you show up to every day. So that's why we're going to look at that in your sun energy. And we have the Knight of Cups, the Five of Pentacles, and the Three of Swords on that side. Now the energy I get at work, again, I feel like work is fine. People love you wherever you go. And because we do have a lot of water energy here, I feel like it's very, not only important to you, but you feel very comfortable changing your scenery, almost traveling, like a project manager or someone who goes and work in different buildings because they need your help or assistance. you like it, but then you don't, because then you almost feel like, where do I actually belong? Even though you kind of like doing that, because you almost feel like it's a community, because you know some people here and you know some people there, and they counsel you in a roundabout way and you counsel them. And so that energy is kind of exchanged, and you enjoy that, but you also kind of miss a little bit, like, where is my home? Where do I work? Where's my building? Who are my people? And that's what this Three of Wands on that side represents. Like, I feel like you're waiting for someone, right? As opposed to, this looks like he's on an adventure. Here, he's actually waiting to receive. So you're waiting to receive perhaps, acknowledgement of all this traveling that you do, or all of these accounts that you do handle at these different buildings, these different companies, these different people, these different accounts. You kind of juggle a lot. And I feel like you're kind of waiting to say, someone say, hey, Taurus, you're doing a great job. Okay. And I'm going to expand on these cards with the Rider deck. Now let's go to those of us who are looking for work, or looking and thinking about, like, where am I being called? So you have that Sun card, which is flanking that King of Cups, along with the King of Wands. So first, let's talk about that Sun card. Now, that Sun card represents working with children, child psychology, working outdoors, things like that. So if that's calling to you, or maybe you're looking for a movement out of this typical, corporate job that you've had for 10 years, or you've been in a particular field for 15, 20 years, and you're like, I want to help children. I want to help kids. I want to help our environment. Perhaps Spirit is calling you to that based on what I'm seeing. And with the King of Wands, he is the most, he doesn't care about frills and swords and, fancy cuts and things like that. He has a stick, right? And he still gets the job done. He's like, it doesn't have to be fancy, but what I do expect is it to be done. So with that being said, with this King of Wands, he's a no-nonsense kind of chap, okay? So he is going to make a great leader. I feel like that it is involving, especially because I have fire and water, perhaps some of us are looking in, I don't know all the jobs, but all I know is it's going to require speed. It's going to require no nonsense. I see like almost like cars, high-speed internet, like there's something to where it's moving and working fast. And it's a no nonsense, and it's an understanding that that's what it is. It's not being rude. It's not being nasty. That's the environment. So I also feel that too for some of you Tauruses that are looking for something new and different. And also what I'm feeling, Taurus, I'm feeling like that work and finances are on your mind, but I feel like that you are more interested in love. I feel like your heart is completely open, and that's what you want to receive. And we're going to talk about that too, Taurus, at a later time. But I love seeing how even killed everything is with your finances and your work, and even moving forward for those who are being called to do something else. It's so touching and loving, which makes sense with that King of Cups right in the center. It's really, it's passionate on a sensitive level. So let's go ahead and start expanding on your finances. I'm going to do 2 on the Emperor and 2 on the Strength card. Wow. So you earth signs are connected. You really are. I mean, you're sisters and brothers. So you guys end up getting some similar cards. Let's expand on the Strength card. Amazing. I shuffled these cards and they came out in Capricorn Sun energy. Very interesting in their job. And this is in your actual finances. There's something to it. Ooh, that's new. So with the Emperor card, you have the Hierophant and you have the Eight of Pentacles. So to me, this is Taurus, I feel like you're a bit more serious than Capricorn, right? Capricorn on the exterior looks like they're the more serious one, but underneath they're a bit more silly, right? And the reason I say Capricorn, because I just did their reading and they had similar cards. You are actually a bit more serious underneath it all. So you like the idea of titles, right? You don't like the wishy-washy of, okay, we don't have any, we don't have a structure. You don't like going into something like that. You like the idea of structure. You like the idea of hierarchies because it helps you understand who to go to for what. And here I see really with your finances that you're really paying attention to them and you're doing it in a very traditional way. So I don't know if you have some sort of banking system set up on your phone, an app, which I had mentioned before, or maybe you hired an accountant. If you are in a position to where you can hire an accountant, I would get one because this Emperor card is calling you to think about your future. Think about retirement. Think about how you want that to look. And if you want that to look a certain way, we have to start working on that now because you're in a position to do it. And if you're not in a position to do it, start researching it. Start reading books. Start listening to books. Go on YouTube, right? There's some gurus out there. Now is a great time for you to think about tomorrow. Now, I expanded on that Strength card and we got the Nine of Cups along with the Eight of Wands. So again, it's like job well done. Taurus, I'm so very proud of you. It looks like you really worked towards this. You really worked towards this sort of achievement. I felt like it took you a little while to get there and steps to get there. So and to me, it's not even like a promotion, so to speak. It's like you gradually just started working on something and towards something, and it has paid off for you. And you had to take many steps to get there, and you had to communicate your needs to get here. And it took a lot of courage and strength and trust in yourself to do it. Bravo. And this is how I know that it all paid off, is because that Judgment card, right? So this success, right? These streams of income, you deserve it because you worked for it. It's kind of like, you get out what you put in, and you put in the work and it shows. Great job, Taurus. Great job. So let's expand on your actual job or your career that you show up to every day. Okay, Taurus. So perhaps all this back and forth of traveling, or these many accounts, or these many buildings that you go to, whatever the case, because I do feel like it's kind of here and there, right? It's causing a little squabbles here and there. So that's what happens too when you're not kind of with your people, you're just kind of with the people. There can be misunderstandings because we just haven't invested in relationships with those accounts, or with those peoples, or within those buildings, or whatever that means to you. So if we want to work on this, because these are just petty little things, it's nothing major, right? They're just little things that get on your nerves, that just want to make you pull your hair out, right? That kind of affects your work a little bit as far as enjoying it, because you do for the most part. It's just those little things sometimes are just like, right? So here we have the Six of Pentacles, and you see it's all about giving and taking. That's what the Six of Pentacles is about. In order for us to make this more manageable, you are going to have to give and take a little bit, Taurus. I know sometimes we can get really stuck in your fixed sign. You can get really stuck into a way of thinking and how things should be done. And when someone doesn't do that, like, you lose your cool and you just don't have patience for it, right? You just don't have patience for it. So let's just really call on some patience and some understanding and seeing that other point of view. And Taurus, the thing is, when you do that, you are a master, and you're a master at convincing other people to look at a different point of view and perspective as well. And that's what the King of Cups is all about. I love it. I love when it all like comes together. So I expanded on that Three of Wands, and we have the Two of Pentacles along with the King of Swords. So at work, within our career, when you show up to work, because you're juggling a few things, and not only are you juggling a few things as far as projects, jobs, multiple buildings, multiple travel, you're doing a lot. You're juggling it all, right? And because you have a lot on your plate, I understand, but just make sure when we're communicating our frustrations or our concerns or our challenges, that we still remain positive, right? And understanding. And if you are feeling overwhelmed, or you're feeling like, I just need a break. I like what I'm doing, but I just need a break. Communicate that, but let's do it in a mature, professional way. And Taurus, I know that you are, so don't come at me. Don't come at me. But sometimes when we're frustrated and we're tired and we're overwhelmed, it can come out a different way, to the point where by the time it comes out of your mouth, you can't suck it back in. And now you're like, okay, now I own that. Now what? So before it gets to that point, let's just be thoughtful and loving, right? Because that's the theme here, is to be thoughtful and loving when we are in that energy. And then I have this Queen of Wands. I feel like very strongly that this is the person you need to go to with your concerns. So that Queen of Wands is an energy, right? It's not a particular man or woman. It's an energy. I do feel like that it is a person of authority that you can go to, and you feel very good about going to them. And to help you, they're going to be charismatic. You trust them as far as how you communicate with them. They don't hold back, you don't hold back. That's how come you like that person. So they're definitely going to understand you when you have these concerns. Yeah, and they're going to know that, look, I'm getting tired and worn down. That's basically what that means. When that Devil card is with this, what is this? With the Nine of Wands, that's a beat down, tired, right? To where you just can't take it anymore. Okay. Yeah, I almost feel like that. I see you, in order to control and to maintain all of this successfully, you're either taking medicines to keep you healthy, or you've been sick and you've been taking medicines, or you're drinking Red Bulls to stay up, and you're taking sleeping pills to go to bed. Like, it's getting to you in that way. So you need to let her know. I mean, when I say her, I mean that Queen of Wands energy. Let them know that you're feeling overwhelmed and beat down. Because you're kind of harming yourself, really, right? You're not at your best when you have to kind of act and counteract just to keep up. All right, so let's talk about the individuals that are called to do something, or the ones that are kind of out of work and like, what's my next step? What's my next move? What career am I being called to, right? We got the Strength card again. I do not read tarot upside down, so I'm just turning them around. So then I have the Strength card and the Knight of Pentacles that showed up with that Sun card. And really, I'm feeling so much earth energy, and I'm feeling some Leo energy here. So perhaps there's a Leo that's going to help direct you towards, and I even see animals. Oh, wow. Are some of you looking like into like being a veterinarian? Super cool. So when I got that veterinarian hit, it's almost like the person I hit, they kind of started off with like engineering or business management. Like they started off in a complete different field, and they've been working that for you, or you've been working that for a long time, and now you want to be a veterinarian. You want to help animals. You want to work with dogs. You want to work with seeing eye dogs. You want to train them. You want to breed them. Like this, there's something there, right? And I'm saying seeing eye dogs because it's almost like this, you know, this is her companion to help her through the world, right? To give her strength. So that's why I picked up on the seeing eye dog, or even horses, ponies, anything like that. And I even see farming. Interesting. Taurus, what are you doing? All right. I see a going green type of thing. I'm not against that. Okay. So if that's something you're interested in, put that energy out there. The individual, the opportunity is going to come forward in a roundabout kind of way. It's not going to be out there like a Knight of Wands, but that Knight of Pentacles is going to bring word in a gentle way to where it's not going to be screaming like, here's the opportunity. It's almost going to kind of like show up, and it's going to spark your interest, and you're going to make a move. At least you should. Right? That's what this reading is for, to get you prepared for when that opportunity happens. You make the move. Now with that that King of Wands, we have the Seven of Cups and another Emperor card. So you have two Emperor cards. That's not only in your finances, but that's in your what do I do next area. And again, he's all about, you know, to have these two together. I mean, they're both fire signs. They kind of represent Aries as well. So maybe there's an Aries, or maybe just have that fire kind of energy. And I really do feel that with this. This is like a really no nonsense. Let's get the job done. Don't pussyfoot around what we need to do or what needs to be said. And I like this energy, right? And the reason I like it because there's no, once everything is said and done, there's no questions. It's just like, get to work. We understand. And Taurus, if we're looking for different opportunities or what's calling me, I see you, right? It's almost like you don't know which direction to go. Make a list. Check it twice, okay? The original writer is Santa Claus, okay? Because not everything is going to be for you. There are going to be some things that are for you. There are going to be some things that are not. That's how come I need you to list them out. And you have the time. You have the time. We're talking about your life here, your life purpose and your journey. Make the time, Taurus. Write it down, right? And then make a list, circle it, and then expand off of that, why that's so important to you. And I guarantee that you're going to start scratching those things off that you thought were your everything, that were your purpose, that were your title, that you were going to move forward with, quit your job, move, and come to find out, you're like, what am I doing? Now that I've put it on paper and I put it into reality as far as how it looks every day, it does not resonate with me. That's why you need to do that. And interestingly enough, I have the Queen of Cups coupled up with the King of Cups. The two most loving court cards. Taurus, we are looking for love, honey. I like it. I really do. So there's a couple things that I'm getting from that love, right? And I see that you've been healing, perhaps from a love, because that Queen of Cups is just as loving as the King of Cups. They both make a beautiful, beautiful couple. There's a couple that you see necking in the booth behind you. You're kind of like, get a room, right? So I feel like that you've kind of found yourself in a most comfortable way. The most beautiful gift that you can ever have is when you finally figure out how to love yourself. And a lot of us say that we know it. But I can tell you, I didn't know it. And I thought I did in my 20s. I really didn't feel it until my late 30s. And man, it feels like eating chocolate cake every day, if that's your thing, right? So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And this does let me know that whatever you do, whatever you're called to do, it's your heart has to be in it. It's like it has to make your heart beat to do it. So working with animals, working with land, working with renewed energy, or even if you're that individual who's on the flip side of that, and we're working with cars and automotive and high-speed internet. I just keep hearing high-speed internet. I don't know what that means, because I feel like I can see the picture, but I don't know what to call it. I'm sorry. There's something there. All I know is your heart has to be in it. So when you're making this list, Taurus, ask yourself, when you write it down and you circle it and you say, is my heart in this? And if the answer is no, you scratch it off and don't revisit it. All right, Taurus, to recap, everything's going good with your finances. We have a loving relationship with our finances, and I like that. And you've kind of graduated to this point, and you worked hard towards it. And it's kind of like it's all coming together. You're finally starting to see where you came from as far as where you are now. On the job front, we kind of like the idea of going to different businesses, different companies, having different accounts, dealing with different type of people. You like it, but it's wearing you out. Communicate that to your leadership, the powers that be. That perhaps you're the boss and you're like, hire someone to come in and to look over for a few days, just so you can regroup and recharge. For those of you that are being called to something else, or you're like, what is my next move, Crystal? Give me a hint. We're looking at renewable energy, animals, veterinarian, farming. I see that there's so much opportunity there. That's going to be huge. And then for those of us that are on the automotive side who are looking for speed and even high-speed internet, like I mentioned before, there's something there. I wish I could tap onto it for you. And the whole key to all of this is love. And I hate to sound hokey, but it's different. It's not expected. It doesn't come with strings. It's really just that resonating of love. And it feels really good to really give you this reading. It's really super cool. Taurus, I absolutely adore you. Please let me know if this resonates with you. Like, comment. I love when you comment. I respond. Share it. And let me know if you want to see this every month, or are you okay with every quarter. I'll talk to you soon. I adore you.